I don't think of lifetimes as necessarily linear. If everything is one, you're going to experience everything.
How would you quantify past lives then? Would you quantify it as like, we all come from one energy source and then we're just put into these 3D bodies, and then when the 3D bodies die, that energy goes back to the source and then it comes back again in the next iteration?
It does something unexpected and surprising, because that's the sort of the, I don't know, prime directive of like being alive, is that life itself is almost like a distraction from eternity.
Mm-hmm.
If everything is one, then imagine being that one thing forever and how boring that would get.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you got to create Genghis Khan.
Yeah, you got to go. Yeah. Which I also, I have to separate sometimes like those beliefs, because then it's sort of, you can get into an acceptance of evil, which I think part of the journey also is to grow like what is, I don't know. I think there is some truth to, there are some good lessons to good and evil, though it can be misinterpreted, and, calling a lot of things evil over time has led to a lot of chaos. Mm-hmm. But also, maybe the chaos is the point. I'm uncertain. And so it's like a line that I like flip flop back on, mm-hmm. where it's like, oh yeah, everything is one, and it's like everything is divine, but then it's also like, I'm not okay with acting in a certain way or other people acting in a certain way.
Right.
Right. And yeah, I guess the journey, I don't know, at least for me, is like finding that balance in those two like sort of opposing, viewpoints. Mm-hmm. And, I think that can create, for it seems, at least so far, it seems like an infinite amount of, growth.
Have you ever spoken to somebody about past lives, who like somebody who like actually remembers their past lives?
No.
Or have you ever listened to a podcast with somebody like that?
No, I have one past life, like really strong memory, and I don't think it's like, oh, I was
the Queen of
the Queen
England
of England
or whatever,
something like that, or I'm Napoleon Bonaparte, it's like it's my personal one was, I wasn't anyone famous. I was the daughter of a shaman in the Amazon jungle, and basically a white man came to our village with recording technology, and I was so fascinated by it that I asked Gaia, the spirit of the earth, to let me die and be reborn a white man so I could use their technology.
What?
To like speak through the spirit of the earth. And like that to me, I don't know if that's true.
Yeah.
Because like, I don't know, I always like to give myself like, oh, maybe these, it's like a thought and a story that came to me in an instant. Mm-hmm. I was sober and I was just like reading a book, and then all of a sudden this whole
it was like
story
a download.
Memory,
yeah,
just happened like within a split second, and I was like,
wow,
oh, that sort of explains a lot of weird things about me. I don't know if it's true. Mm-hmm. Maybe I'm just very creative, in my mind. I'm just like making up stuff. But at the same time, I don't know. That's one of the reasons why I am interested in the idea of past lives,